I'm going to take SmackDown. Because honestly, 3 hours is a lot of work. Oh, you told your wife to pick the number. Shout out to your wife, Zargon. That's awesome. Yeah, because 3 hours is a lot of work for Raw. So, yeah, I'm going to go with SmackDown. And my first pick, and I'm actually making a list, Titus. My number one pick for SmackDown, I'm going to go with John Cena.
That's a very good pick in my mind. Very good pick. And why, I guess we should give a reason why we'd pick him at number one.
Reason why I'm going with John Cena is because I'm thinking about brand exclusives. I'm thinking about it from the standpoint of, if you tune in to this particular show every single week, you're guaranteed to see stars of the likes of John Cena. Not to mention, if SmackDown is gonna be live, I need all the firepower that I can get, and nobody brings it better. I'll give the devil his due. Nobody brings it better than John Cena.
All right. So with my first pick in the 2016 WWE Draft, as the general manager of Raw, I'm going to follow your sort of lead. I've got a 3-hour program, longest running television program episodic television program in history. I need somebody who, when they're there, they electrify the crowd, ratings spike, and that is only Brock Lesnar.
Ooh, okay. Even though he's part-time.
And it's because when he's there, the energy is just amazing. You tell people next week Brock is going to be on, ratings spike. He's somebody who just can, be that barometer who can pop in, and even though he doesn't have to talk. And of course now because I have to draft Paul Heyman somewhere. but I need that. I want that. Why is he on UFC 200? Because people's eyes go where Brock Lesnar goes.
Okay. I respect that. Okay. My second pick. Dean Ambrose. And the reason why? Dean, I think right now, his placement on Raw, don't get me wrong, it's been good up to this point, but I see so much more potential that has not yet truly been tapped. I mean, anybody that is familiar with Dean and CZW and all that other stuff, now I mentioned those promotions, and when you see that type of stuff that he's doing, I'm not dare saying that's what he needs to bring into the WWE, because after all, it's an entirely different product now. We all get that. But it's only a small fraction of what we've been seeing of him. And I just feel that this is a guy, honestly, I like his work ethic. I think his rivalries have been good. He comes off like a really good team player. Whatever you need him to go do, that's what he'll do. I just would like to see him be in more of a situation where he can be looked upon as a centerpiece, and any fine-tuning that can be done to help him improve overall as a superstar. You hear a lot of people say, yeah, can Dean actually be a WWE champion? There are so many comparisons to Roddy Piper that, yeah, he's but nah, some of the greatest guys, the greatest workers and all that, they don't need to hold the belt. I want to challenge that. I think with the right type of spotlight, right type of seasoning, right type of rivalries, Dean Ambrose can get there. I think right now as it stands, he's kind of lost in the shuffle. So that's why I'm going with Dean Ambrose. I want to single him out, make him shine a little bit more on SmackDown.
I think that's a good. That's a very good call. Fresh place where he can. Yep, that's good. That's good. For my second pick, this was probably the toughest pick. For me, number one was simple. If I didn't have, Brock, I would have picked John Cena. So I had both of our number one picks, but because Brock is a part-time, I need somebody who's going to be the face of Monday Night Raw for the next 10 years. And somebody that can electrify a crowd, who can get people excited, who when their music plays, they just stand up, and that, of course, is Finn Balor.
Oh, man. That was my next guy. That's a very good pick. That is a very good pick. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. I gotta scratch him off now, because that was literally my next pick, man. Okay. Let's see. My third pick. I'm gonna go the NXT route. I'm gonna go with a guy who I have been a big fan of for many, many years. And I'm happy that he finally signed some type of a deal with the WWE. And I'm glad he has a little bit of something to do with NXT. But I feel that NXT in its current format has all the necessary help that it needs right now. Meanwhile, there are many other up-and-coming talents that we have not yet seen, that has not had the pleasure of wrestling for other promotions, that needs to be given the opportunity to see what they can do on the NXT brand. I've got this guy bypassing all that. I want him on the blue brand. I think he can be my, how can I put this? I think this guy can be my heel Chris Jericho from the late 2000s, when Jericho had became the World Heavyweight Champion one last go round, and he was doing the tag team with the Big Show and all that. I've got him basically picking up right where Jericho left off, but doing it even better. I gotta go with Bobby Roode.
Wow, wasn't even on my list. Very interesting. And speaking of young guys that you have not seen, y'all just keep your eyes open. It's going to happen at some point this year. Former NRW Pro Wrestling star, Dozer. He is at NXT. He is training at the Performance Center now. He going to make his way soon. So, speaking of new guys, he's not on the roster yet. I can't draft him, but that's going to be something. All right. So, looking at my third pick, I've got my Impact player with Brock Lesnar. I've got my face of the company for the next 10 years. But that face of the company needs to have a rival. We had John Cena and Randy Orton with some great stories over 10 years. And I think we need somebody to be the counter to Finn Balor. Somebody who can bring match after match after match, can work heel, could work face. These two could go back and forth that way for 10 years. And that is Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh, Nakamura. Good pick. Nakamura. I was going to go for him next. That's a damn good pick. Can
you imagine the next 10 years with those two as the headliners, and then you throw a Brock in there from time to time? That's my thought.
Yeah, that's a damn good pick. I like that one. Ah, man. You know what? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to show the females a little bit of love. And am I the only one that's been noticing that the women's action on the main roster, it's kind of almost gone back to give divas a chance? The matches are pretty short now. They're out there jibber-jabbering about a bunch of nonsense or whatever. And it makes no sense. I need to see consistency with the women's division. And this, I need to see it continue to get that nice little that nice little shake up. This girl represents the future of the women's division. And I want to get her ready for when it comes time for her to pop up on Raw. Because by the time she pops up on Raw, she's going to be big and bad, just like Sasha Banks. I'm going with Bayley.
That was the only woman I had written down on my list at all. So
notice
good.
I got the male John Cena, and then I got the female John Cena.
That you did. Bina, Bana, yeah. Scenely. All right. So I think I've set myself up with my world championship over the next 10 years. But the great thing that makes, in my opinion, which makes television interesting, it should be a mid-card championship. That Intercontinental Championship, which will be probably the Raw brand, not the blue brand. We'll give you the U.S. title.
Yeah.
But that mid-card titles, which bring such great depth, great tremendous matches, titles can change hands, and I need somebody who can be the catalyst in that mid-card, but also can be the threat that could pop up to the main card level if necessity becomes. When that need is there, someone goes down, which inevitably can happen. I need somebody who can be the main event guy as well, and that guy is Cesaro.
Cesaro. I do hope in your role as GM for Cesaro, his stripping gimmick changes.
Not feeling that?
I'm not feeling that stripping gimmick. I mean, he's got the whole 007 and then he rips off his clothes like he's at a freaking... like he's a Chippendale dancer. It's like, stop that shit. He's got the right look. It's like, why don't he just come out like the Hitman character? I don't know if you're familiar with Hitman, the video game franchise, but like, they done a string of movies off of him. I'm like, why not just play off of Jason Statham, play off of the Hitman character, and just, there's your gimmick right there. You don't have to have him strip and all that. Make him be a mercenary for hire. If you have the money, he'll assassinate whoever you need taken out or whatever, you know? That stripping gimmick ain't working though. Seriously. Well, you know, I gotta go. I'm just really focused on building a nice brand with the women. I gotta go with the women again. I'm seeing a lot of great potential from this next woman. I have high hopes for her. I have big expectations for her. I feel that this is a woman that could definitely make an impact for years to come. I love her size. I love her uncanny beauty. I am willing to go as far as to say that as long as she does not listen to the haters, those that want to make fun of her weight, she stays true to herself because she's beautiful inside and out. I feel this is a woman that can go in the direction of a Chyna. She can definitely surpass Tamina Snuka. She's like that. I'm going to go with Nia Jax.
Good call. I picked up on what you were doing. Yeah. Yep, Nia Jax. That's a good one. And you may be, leading that women's division quite well. Maybe quite well. Well, as I continue to build my mid-card division, definitely need to have somebody that can have great matches with Cesaro. Somebody who can also be somebody who can move up to a main event spot if necessary. Somebody who the fans love and can love to hate as well. And that, of course, will be the phenomenal AJ Styles. Truth be told, I have always said and thought about it this very night that if I owned a promotion, I would write a blank check to AJ Styles.
He deserves it.
You're my guy.
Yeah.
By no means picking him 5th, 10th overall diminishes who he is. He can most definitely carry the torch for the Raw brand for me. He can battle Nakamura, obviously. We've seen that. He can battle Finn Balor, obviously. He just because I mentioned him in the mid-card doesn't mean that he's not the standard bearer of the Red brand for sure, because he is a major talent. My only concern for AJ is that he is not a spring chicken. And Finn is much more younger. Not much, but younger. Nakamura's a little younger, but AJ Styles could have easily been a number 1 pick for either of us.
Yeah. This is a tie, but for me it's kind of like, well, who am I edging more towards? And my fear is if I say this name, I think either way you're going to go with whoever I'm trying to get next. So it really comes down to who am I more interested in. I got to go with this guy. You know, I've been a big fan of his since he was on the independent circuit. This man has a bright career ahead of him. He just needs to stay healthy. He is another one that I personally feel, as it stands right now, unfortunately, with him being on the Raw brand, he's a little bit lost in the shuffle. And I get that his whole running gag is the underdog, but on SmackDown, on my SmackDown, I'm going to have him not only be an underdog, but I'm going to actually have him come out on top because I have faith in this man. I think if given the opportunity, this man could be the face of the company for many years to come as a WWE champion. Great connection he has with the fans. Is it like Daniel Bryan? No, but it's kind of as close as you're going to get to this point. Got to switch up his in-ring gear a little bit as far as what he comes out to, because he looks like a damn cab driver. But other than that, I like him. Sami Zayn.
Good pick. He is high on my list. Well, that being said, I want to change things up. You know, if you look at most of my picks, they're some smaller guys. Funny thing is, if you look at picks 2, 3, 4, and 5, they're all indie stars. I can say that I'm on the indie market. I can pick over indie guys. But I do want to bring in somebody who is a little untested at number 6. A little untested. Had an opportunity recently to kind of showcase what he can do if given an opportunity. He's very unique in his build, and I think with just a little bit more weight and muscle, he would really change who he could be, and that is Big Cass. I see him a little bit more bulk. He could be a Big Daddy Cool Diesel type of guy.
You know, when I see him, every single time, the first thing that goes in my mind, test. This is a test.
Yep.
I miss that dude, man. I miss him big time. Like, remember his rivalry with Scott Steiner over Stacy Keibler?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I love my testicles. That was his joint.
Yep,
that was his joint. We're talking big guys. I gotta kind of go in your direction. I'm gonna go with this young newcomer. I had a lot of high expectations of him. For a lot of you guys, you know exactly where I'm going with this. I still give him nothing but praise. Right now, though, from the little bit that I've been seeing of him within recent weeks, I think he got called up a little bit too soon. And I'd hate for him to be in a position where it's basically you got to learn how to swim, or you're just going to be out there, with the pink slip. And I don't see him getting a pink slip. Mind you, no pink slip. But I think with him being on the Raw brand right now, it is exposing him tremendously in the worst possible ways. And I think for him, SmackDown's going to be live, so he's going to have to learn how to adapt. But I want to see this guy be in a situation where, with the current roster that I have right now, he can get a little bit of a rub off from them. I mean, I could definitely see him in a very interesting program with Bobby Roode. That really jumps out at me right now. But I see this guy, he's got to work on layers of expression, because right now he's very one-dimensional. And I think if he can just string all that together, he definitely would be a force to reckon with, because in the ring, he's the fucking man. Apollo Crews.
Nice. Big upside.
Yeah. A lot of potential.
Sadly, not on my list, but definitely an oversight on my part, because he is definitely, yeah, you're right. Oh, number 7. Let's see. I think I'm going to continue on from my last pick. I'm going to make it really easy. I'm going to build the tag team for the next 10 years, and I'm going to go with Enzo Amore. First tag team put together. Okay. He is so over with the fans. You love a spot where somebody can get the crowd up, especially in situations where maybe you have a downer match, something that maybe fans aren't. But he can go in there, and as soon as that music starts playing, people get excited. How you doing? You can't teach that. People want to have interaction, and the two of those guys together, can really be really fun. And there's they're interdimensional. They can be tag team champions. They can split off and be singles champions as well. So I think Enzo has got a great upside. And I'll tell you a little inside story that I know about Enzo Amore. Big Cass was having struggles down in NXT developing a character. Big Cass was really in trouble of being let go. Because creative couldn't find anything for him. And this is firsthand knowledge, by the way. Not mine, but it's firsthand given to me. Enzo said, look, let's try to tag up. Come with me, and we'll see if we can put something together and do something. And as it said, that the rest is history. So Enzo is a guy of good character. He took Big Cass under his arm and said, let's just do something together so you can, develop who you are. I think you've got great talent. So he's a guy of great character as well. So you wouldn't mind having somebody like that on your roster.
Okay.
See the kind of stuff you get when you have me on the show?
Yeah, I see it. One thing I'm missing. Now, look, I mentioned Bobby Roode, but I also got to think about things from a tag team perspective. And then I also got to think about, okay, I need like my second biggest heel. And I've been a fan of this guy for the longest. As a matter of fact, longtime listeners will remember when he made his WWE debut, my tweet referencing him made it on their network special. And this guy, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best talkers around. He stays in character practically 24/7. And when he isn't in character, I love the fact that he tells you straight up, I'm with my family. I don't want to be bothered right now. I love that. This guy has all the right ingredients of what, for me, personifies being a heel. And if this guy can just stay healthy, I just need him for like 3 to 5 years. And I tell you, if I was in the position, me and him would make some really good money, because to what you said about AJ Styles, I'm going to give this guy a blank check and have him put however many zeros he wants on it. I'm going with Kevin Owens.
Damn. Yeah, Owens is high on my draft board. He actually, I was thinking him before, instead of Enzo, but I wanted to make sure I had my tag team. Kevin Owens is an amazing pick, and somebody who does not fit the typical WWE superstar, and that's what I like about him so much. Mm-hmm. He doesn't look athletic at all, but he is severely athletic. Yeah. And I got people who in these they say, well, that guy doesn't look like $1 million. You know what? But what he does look like, he looks like he can kick your ass in a fight. And that's what makes up the difference. You don't have to be a Greek god. You can be out of that look, that no bodybuilder, but you gotta look like you can kick someone's ass. Mm-hmm. And he does. He looks like he could whoop some butt. That's for sure. Hell yeah. Good pick. That's off my list. Dang it. Well, I'm going to bring this number 8 pick. He's one of my wild cards, and I'm bringing him in specifically because I like his work style, but I liked when he was in NXT, when he was a heel in NXT. He's not been a heel since coming to the main roster, and I think I like him better that way. And I want to make sure he gets his first name back. Neville is my 8th pick.
Ooh, good pick. I was going to go with him.
I want him as a heel. I want him NXT champion version of Neville, not the Mighty Mouse looking superhero. I want him a heel, because he's believable as a little bit of a cocky sort of jerk.
Good pick. Damn good pick. I like that. Damn. This is a toss-up for me, but I'm thinking mid-card, but main event caliber eventually for this next individual. And I've been watching him for a lot of years now. And to say he is a big man is an understatement. This guy, when you look at his in-ring capabilities, you look at his charisma that has really just started to shine in recent years, it seems like he's finally able to string it all together. And I think now is the time more than ever to see what he can do once again, having a singles run. I got faith that he can follow in the footsteps if given the opportunity, and he won't feel any pressure because they're not going to be coming at him like that. But he can definitely, if given the opportunity and he's given that right encouragement, he can follow in the footsteps of Ron Simmons. Big E.
Well, that's off my list. Oh, goodness. Well, let's just go ahead and go a different direction then, because I can't believe that if I'm looking at my list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my number 6 overall pick is still on the board. And how he's still there is kind of, why is he dropped so far in the draft? But Seth Rollins is my number 8 pick.
Good. Because I was going to get him next. I'm glad one of us finally got him.
He's sitting there. I'm going to keep looking at him going, what the hell?
Good pick. Yeah, that's like, let me look here. I'm looking at your list. That's your first major heel.
Yeah.
That's your Kevin Owens, though, at the same time, because, I mean, my God, the different feuds you could have. Yeah. That's your Kevin Owens, yeah. Number 10. Number 10. This is where it gets interesting. Number 10. You know, there's one other person that jumps out at me. I'm going to go with this guy. I checked out a bit of his work in Ring of Honor. I don't like his current run in NXT. And I think he's in need of a little bit of a refresher. And I think he can get that refresher if he were to come to Smackdown. I think if he were to be put on Raw, he'd probably get shown the door after a couple of months. I think Smackdown would be the better atmosphere for him to really spread out his wings and develop more as a performer. But again, I'm going back to his work in ROH. If he can come to as close as to the work he did in ROH on the Blue brand, but magnified even more, I think he'd have a really successful WWE career. I gotta go with Tommaso Ciampa. That is my wild card guy.
It's, he is a wild card because he could be he could be great or he could be not so great. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So that's a ballsy pick.
Yeah.
Well, since it's number 10 and it completes the top 10, I'm going to take my number 7 guy on my list. That will complete my top 10, of which I got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll get 6 of my top 10 picks, so I'm pretty happy overall. You have you have John Cena of the last 10 years. I'm going to take John Cena of the next 10 years, and I'm taking Roman Reigns.
Okay. The current WWE champion. Now, remember that rule. We need to make sure we mention it to folks. So apparently in the event that we recruit a champion, there is a option, depending on the champion, if it hasn't already been selected. Whoever recruits a current champion has the option of making that champion exclusive to their brand, and they also have the opportunity to strip them of the title if they want. So are you taking Roman as the complete package and you're making that championship exclusive? Or is he going to be defending it on both brands?
I would love to see WWE not have exclusive world champions on both rosters. Mm-hmm. I hope they don't go back to that with the next version of the brand split. I think originally when they first had the Undisputed Championship, that was the way it worked. So I'm going to allow Roman Reigns to be the World Heavyweight Champion of the WWE. Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So he won't be exclusive. He can defend that title to a SmackDown guy.
Okay. All right.
I just hated the idea of going, I'm the WWE champion, I'm the world champion. What the hell?
Right.
One champion goes back and forth. If he loses his title, he stays on Raw, and that champion from whoever that may be, whether it be a SmackDown or Raw guy, they go back and forth. That's the way it was originally done in the brand split in the first place, was it not?
That's true. Well, you're going to love me then for this next pick. I'm just looking at how my heels are doing so far here. And I could use another heel. Round this list off pretty good. I'm going to go with somebody that's not really part of the new era. And he's a current title holder. I love this guy. He's got a great look. He's got a great look. He's got a great look. I've always been a fan of his. But here's the thing. I want him. I don't want his manager.
Shit!
I'm going to take Rusev, but I'm stripping him of the U.S. title. The U.S. title is vacant. The U.S. title is terminated.
All right. Oh, I ducked that one. Whew. We were exactly the same until you said Rusev, because my number 11 pick is not of the new era. If you look at my list, there's a lot of new era guys here, NXT guys. I want some stability. I want somebody who I'm a big fan of. I think he's a phenomenal heel. I want him and not his manager. She can go back home. I want The Miz.
Damn. Yeah. Good pick.
I told you a couple years ago
that
I would make him the Ric Flair of a New Horseman.
Yeah.
And I think people boo him. I hate that guy. That's his job. And he does it so very, very well. Number 11, The Miz. Not Maurice. She can stay home.
Very nice. So
and he's Intercontinental Champion, and I'll let that go as well.
All right. Because you see how more simpler this is? Because it's like U.S. title, IC title. Just let it be just, one belt. Everybody gunning for it. It's like, hey, you're the A champion, and you're the B champion, and you're the C. What about D? Yeah, there's a D. No. Just go ahead and retire that U.S. title, man. Number 12. Well, you know what? I gotta give people a reason to watch WWE again. In particular, Smackdown. Let me just first say this. If I had it my way, I don't think he's under a contract. So this is why I can't name him Titus. But if I knew he was under some type of a contract, I want to give people a reason to watch Smackdown. Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, but he's not under. I'm looking at the not under contract.
He's not under contract. So I got to go with the next best thing, and I got to go with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon would be. I know you didn't watch Raw, but they had this thing where Shane had said, "You and me will continue to co-run Raw, but I'm gonna run SmackDown." I see him running SmackDown, but I see something weird happening where he gets screwed out of running Raw. I got Stephanie doing some foul crap to him, and as a result of that, he's just going to do any and everything ballsy to make SmackDown be equal to Raw and better. So, if I'm going to draft somebody, and like we said earlier, management is up for grabs as well, then I'm going to go with Shane McMahon. This is completely different. We've seen how it was under a Stephanie McMahon. We've seen how it was under a Vince McMahon. So, if Eric Bischoff was under contract, he'd be my guy. Because just the field day, just imagine that. The fun that he'd be able to have.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be awesome right there. Why would you want to watch those other guys? Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to have some 2 Hispanic guys from Puerto Rico come out. Yeah, that's a lot of entertainment right there. I mean, I could just picture Eric Bischoff doing those weird shenanigans like that. But I got to have a reason for people to watch SmackDown. And Shane McMahon right now has that WWE fan base in the palm of his hands because they're like, hey, since Shane has popped up, we've seen these new rivalries, we've seen all this new stuff happens, and so keep that trend going. Give people a reason to watch SmackDown. Put Shane on there exclusively.
All right. I was sort of in the same realm. I'm going to pick a management as well. I'm going to take a little bit different of a twist. You've got Shane McMahon running SmackDown. I'm going to have somebody running SmackDown or running Raw, but that person also can give you one hell of a WrestleMania match, I'm going to take Paul Levesque. I'm taking Triple H.
Nice.
He can leave his wife at home too.
Damn. We're down to, what is this now? 13,
That was
14.
12, so it's 3 left.
3 left. All right, the final 3. All right, so I can't believe I did not even mention this girl yet. Do I really want to grab her though? Let me just think about this. You know what? Yeah, I want to grab her. I want to grab this girl because I've been watching her since her days in NXT. And she's got a bright career ahead of her. She's off to a really good start. And I just want to see her be rid of the stigma known as the Divas division. We got a lot of fans that's wondering, like, when is she going to get her just due? Hands down, she is one of the best female performers I've seen to date, other than one other individual. But I'm thinking about building the women's division for the next 5-7 years. I can definitely do that with her. I got to go with Sasha Banks.
That was literally my next pick. I took Triple H, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna put off one more. Yeah. Well, that kills me from doing much with the women's division. All the good women are going to be on your side. Not that there aren't other ones there, but wow. But they're still there. So I'm going to take my first woman pick. It was my second pick of women, so I'm going to stick with it. I think that she is probably the most experienced, knowledgeable, and capable wrestler on the roster. Got a lot of years under her belt already, but she's only 23 years old, and that's Paige. She's been wrestling since she was a teenager. She's a second generation star. She's got a lot of years under her belt already, but a lot of years left to go. I think you can get a lot of run out of her.
Number 14 for me. I gotta have this guy. I've been a big fan of his, and depending on who you talk to, some people, when you hear this name, they go, well, he got buried by so-and-so. And it's like, well, that depends if you want to look at it from that standpoint. Like you said earlier, it's not always about wins and losses. Sometimes it's about how many of those decimals you got in your paycheck. But I do see what people are talking about, because every single time this guy is involved in a really good feud and you think he's getting over, he loses. And then it's kind of like rinse, repeat. And it makes folks have a hard time getting behind this guy. And this guy has a long career ahead of him. He's only 29 years of age. I want to take this guy, and he's one of my other centerpieces for the Blue brand. I want to take him to heights that will make it be, you have to watch Smackdown to see what this guy is going to do next. And I want him mainly as a solo act, because I think he works better as a solo act. I'm going with Bray Wyatt.
The only guy left on my initial list. Yeah, it's a great pick. Great pick. Shoot, that's good. Well, I have Paige, and I need somebody to go against her. And you look at who's on this roster. Really was leaning toward Emma. I love the new package of Emma, but I don't think she's fully developed that character quite yet. So she's really was ready to come out of her shell. But who I am going to take is a second generation star who is as talented as they come, and she has the pedigree for it, and that would be Charlotte.
Good pick. Are you keeping her with the title?
Yeah, what the hell? I don't think the women's championship should be exclusive. I think it should go back and forth.
Back and forth. Okay.
Final pick.
Yeah, last pick.
Somebody who hasn't got a shot, maybe? I don't know.
There's one guy I'm looking at, and I can't commit to him, and I'll tell you the reason why. Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking potential, man, but it just seemed like after the first couple of weeks, it was like... And then to see Nakamura just come in there and just fucking open it, stepped his foot all in it, and he's just... I mean, he took the WWE fans by storm. I didn't think they were going to be able to adapt to him the way they have been. It was just really surprising to me. I would love to see Hideo Itami follow in those footsteps, but I just don't have faith that he can go that route. I just don't. I'm looking at the roster because, I mean, so far I've just been going off of the top of my head. I'm actually looking at the roster now, and I got one.
Okay.
I can't believe I almost forgot about this guy. I'm a little bit disappointed that I almost forgot about this guy. I have been wanting to see this guy in the WWE for years now because I felt that if this guy could be in the same ring with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, they would make fucking money. I even went as far as to say, if you put him in the ring with Triple H, though he might be a small guy, him and Triple H would tear it up. They would make good money together. It'd be good business. And this guy, you know, he's been on a good streak so far, but I think given how old he is, he doesn't have that many years left, and that's even if he remains healthy. He doesn't really have that much of a window of opportunity to capitalize right now. And I think by putting him on the Blue brand would be a really good test run to see if he's capable of carrying the workload like a Daniel Bryan, like a CM Punk. I'm referring to those guys because he is a small guy, but a hell of a damn good small guy. I'm talking about 38-year-old AA Austin Aries.
Oh, wow. I thought you were heading towards Samoa Joe.
Austin Aries, that's my guy.
Well, final pick of the draft. I think I have looked at my roster. I've got a real strong, young nucleus that I can build upon. Got a couple of great veterans. My problem is my number one pick is only going to be there half the year if I'm lucky. So I need to fill the other half of the year with the single greatest performer in the WWE's entire history. And I'm taking The Rock.
Are you sure you want to go with The Rock?
I have no doubt I want to go with The Rock. Because even if he doesn't wrestle for me, by simply the music hitting gets the crowd enamored. And his last couple of years at WrestleMania, you just wait for his segment. What he and Ronda Rousey with Triple H and Stephanie, that was pure money in my mind. So I'm going to take. I'm comfortable with my other 13 full-time wrestlers that I can afford to spend some money on Dwayne Johnson. Put The Rock on not on the People's Show, which where he could have easily gone to Smackdown, the show he invented. I'm keeping him on Monday nights. Yep, I'm going with The Rock.
Interesting, very interesting. Okay. Any honorable mentions, like somebody you wish would have been capable of being on the list?
I wish that was capable of being on the list, but maybe it isn't. Well, I think you mentioned him earlier. I'm a humongous Bischoff guy.
Yeah.
If in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
for sure. Bischoff is great. I'm partial to Vince Russo. I think he had a great character on WCW. I think they overdid it some. I think he was great. And of course, I'm probably biased, but Niko Volgolovich is my wild card. You guys don't know him now, but you certainly will.
Interesting.
That's because he's an NRW guy. I mean, Nico is an NRW guy. Dozer's gonna surprise a few people.
Titus list for his 15 top superstar picks. Brock Lesnar, again in the following order: number 1, right on down to 15. Number 1, Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor, Nakamura, Cesaro, AJ Styles, Big Cass, Enzo Amore, Neville, who is going to be returning next month from injury, from what I understand, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Miz, Triple H, Paige, Charlotte, and The Rock. Rounding off my list for SmackDown, I have John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Roode, Bayley, Nia Jax, Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens, Big E, Tommaso Ciampa. That is a serious wild card right there.
Serious wild card, yeah.
Yeah. Rusev.
I like it though.
Yeah. Big fan of his in ROH, man. Big fan. I mean, he was tearing it up in ROH. I think anybody that was watching ROH can back me up. Also, when he was doing a little something in New Japan, he was tearing it up over there. Rusev, Shane McMahon, Sasha Banks, Bray Wyatt, Austin Aries, rounding off the list. So, I mean, we got a nice. You look at both of our lists. We got a nice mix of new, somewhat seasoned, but when we try to do this for you guys, one of the first things I said to Titus, I suggested that we stay away from the veterans, the big shows, the Mark Henrys, the Kanes, because it really needs to be about fresher talent that needs to be given the opportunity to kind of showcase themselves a little bit more. And I think it's a completely different other show for some of you guys if you're wondering why certain stars did not get picked, like maybe, for example, the Vaudevillains. I'll go there just briefly. Vaudevillains for me was a really good experiment down in NXT that seemed to really gel well with the Full Sail University fans, but they aren't. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's almost like the fans have a disconnect with the Vaudevillains because they cannot appreciate maybe that era of wrestling. And I tell you, you watch WWE Raw, and anytime they are involved in a segment. Now, notice what they've been doing with the Vaudevillains within recent weeks. They've been having them come out, try to interact with the other tag teams. I'm fine for that, but here's the problem. You have all these other tag teams that come out before these guys do, and these other tag teams, they get a reaction. When Vaudevillains come out, you hear a pin drop. You don't hear no heckles, you don't hear no boos, and when you continue to have somebody come out like that, you're setting them up for failure. I would prefer it if you try to put them in a situation where they got some type of heat Titus, like have them attack somebody in the back or have them do some type of a vicious attack.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
I lost you just for a second.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Tight. Okay. No, I was saying that.
Just fine.
Okay, good. No, I was saying like have them attack somebody in the back, or have them do some type of a despicable act in front of the live crowd to get the reactions. It's like, and to hear Michael Cole in the game just try to do what they can to help the Vaudevillains, it's really, really excruciating. I feel bad for them. And then if the reports are true that Vince McMahon isn't feeling them, what do you do with those guys? Do you send them back to NXT, or do you give them the pink slip?
For me, I get the Vaudevillains. They are unique. They're different. I think that the issue may simply be the fact that they have not been. They've been a little bit of a second fiddle. I really think they weren't supposed to beat Enzo and Cass when Enzo got hurt. They were kind of put in the match for those reasons. I think they're pulled up a little quick. I think because of the upcoming brand split, they want to make sure they were out there and people knew who they were when they were, drafted. I think there's something there for them. I wouldn't repackage yet. I wouldn't be worried yet. I think that given, like you said, some sort of a showcase, something that makes them stand out a little bit, and it's for the first time in a while we've got a really pretty decent tag team division. Yeah. So we between the two of us, we only drafted one member of the New Day, which is kind of sad. I mean, I'm sitting there looking at Kofi; he's still on my list. So the Vaudevillains, I think there's something there. There really, really is. But we're talking about drafting 15 people of a roster of 40 or 50. Obviously, this was day one of the draft. Day two, you'd have a lot more of those guys picked up. I think there's a nice balance of young talent on our list. But you got to have some of those veterans on there. It can't be, all NXT guys, all the young guys. Forget all the old guys. You can't do that because you have to have a roster. I mean, honest and truly, this is no crap here. I pondered number 15 being the Big Show because what he brings. His interview with Stone Cold, he does whatever's asked of him. If you need me to be a heel, I'm a heel. If you need me to be a face, I'm a face. He garners the respect of the locker room. For so many years, if you know the stories of Wrestlers Court, who handled Wrestlers Court? It was Undertaker. It was his roster. He was the one everybody had to get his respect. Before him was Andre. Mm-hmm. It shows locker room at this point. Everybody has to kind of get, Paul's buy-in, and you need that veteran leadership. He doesn't have to go out there and go Broadway and give you a 45-minute. It doesn't have to. He can go out there, do what's asked of him. So you need to have that balance. So having a guy who has that sort of experience in the locker room, John Cena is a tremendous pick. Hate him or not, like him or not, what he brings is more than just the ring. He brings such a veteran leadership in the locker room as well. So it just can't all be, I draft everybody from NXT. They just can't do that.
No, you can't. You can't.